Hello, and thank you for joining our interview series for the Baltimore Economic Leadership League, also known as BEL. I'm your host, Renard Brown, and I'm currently serving as the Executive Director for BEL. BEL is a nonprofit community development financial institution, and we're designed to support small minority, women, and rural businesses in capital microlending, providing business resources and education, as well as creating a vibrant community for businesses to network. So please visit our site to check us out at joinbel.org. These interview sessions are designed to get to know our board members, as well as to gain valuable perspectives and key insights from these business experts. With that, let's dive right in. I want to introduce our guest, James W. Peterson, Jr. James, a Vice President and Small Business Ambassador at M&T Bank, is an experienced finance leader with 20 years of proven success in the spheres of support for businesses all throughout the development lifecycle, owner-occupied and investment in commercial real estate purchase and financing, as well as working capital lines of credit and treasury management and merchant services, just to name a few. James, thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today.
Hey, Renard, good morning. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Let's jump right into the interview, just a few questions. So, Mr. Peterson, can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to be a banking vice president and what it means to be a small business ambassador?
Yeah, and I assure you that it wasn't the typical route, right? So
Okay.
I came to the bank by way of being a business owner. I was a business owner first. I had a manufacturing plant over on Russell Street. Had a number of businesses in the industrial flooring space. And after a successful exit from that, I became a SCORE mentor. So I was just working around Baltimore, just helping folks with their businesses, volunteering my time to help individuals grow their businesses, start and grow. And then came 2015 and Freddie Gray, right? Freddie Gray happened in Baltimore. Yeah. And a position was created. The mayor at the time created a position called outreach coordinator. She wanted somebody going out into these communities and talking to folk and helping people build businesses and therefore building equity within their community, right? So that these folks will be more a part of the communities that they happen to be in. So that's what I did for the city for a number of years. And in that role, I needed a finance partner. Some of the projects that we were trying to do, we needed a little bit of assistance. So I reached out to the bank that I had always banked with, M&T Bank, partnered with them for several years. And then eventually a few years ago, they said, hey, listen, why don't you join our team? And I was happy to do that.
Wow. Wow, what a journey. That really is fantastic. Yeah, Freddie Gray, all of that was really transformative throughout ripples throughout Maryland, I should say, and throughout the
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the Reader's Digest version. It's a much longer.
I certainly appreciate that. I think our listeners will be interested to know, what's the last good book, or the best book that you have read that's been most impactful to you? And if you could tell us a little bit about why that's been so impactful.
Yeah, now I don't know how many people can relate to this. I'm probably a little older than you, and probably a little older than most that's gonna hear this. But it was a book called Super Selling.
Okay.
And it was by a gentleman named Ed McMahon. And again, I don't know how many people remember Ed McMahon, but Ed McMahon was the co-host to Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show. Right. So I'm dating myself. This is the late 80s. Right, but I was working as an engineer. I went to school for engineering. I was working as an engineer in a company up in Philadelphia. And what I started realizing is that the people making the most money were the people who were selling something. Right. Now I'm an introvert by nature. Right. I'm a nerd. I'd rather have my laptop and sit in the corner and figure out how to take over the world on my own. Right. Okay. But I realized that now I always wanted to take over the world, but I just wanted to do it on my own, right? So early on in my quest to take over the world, I realized that the folks that were getting the closest to being able to do that, right, to making the most money, were selling something. They were people persons, right? They had the gift of gab. So I went to the bookstore. Back then there was a Barnes and Noble or something like that. And I grabbed a book called Super Selling by Ed McMahon. And Ed McMahon taught the science of sales, right? And what he's, presentation and the setup and the close and and things like that, that I had no idea that there was so much involved in selling something, right? And more importantly, what he stressed was you have to be a well-rounded person. You have to be very knowledgeable. What made Ed McMahon a great salesperson is the fact that he sat there with Johnny Carson interviewing all these different types of people, right? He has so much knowledge. He had a little bit of knowledge about a lot of things. And what's important about that is you can talk to anybody about anything, right? And then people buy from who they like. So if you can build that rapport, then you can sell them something.
Okay.
That was the most impactful book that I ever read.
Wow. Wow. So rapport and relatability and then breadth of knowledge is
Absolutely.
sounds, yeah, those sounds definitely like something that would help our folks out. So what interested you most about joining the Baltimore Economic Leadership League?
Well, I love working with great people, right? When I saw who was putting this thing together, I said, yeah, I'd like to be a part of that,
Okay.
right? And I like to work with great people doing great things. So the outreach part of it, the investment, again, that's equity, right? We're investing in our community. And that's something that I'd love to be a part of. Early again in my career, people invested in me.
Yeah.
Right? And when I accepted that assistance, and again, it wasn't easy. I said before, I wanted to take over the world on my own. Right? I didn't accept assistance. I didn't accept help. I certainly didn't ask for it early on, but later on, I realized how much that's needed, and I appreciated those folks who poured into me. And I just want to be able to pour into some other folks.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I definitely, as someone who works with Bell, I definitely appreciate that. So thank you very much. What advice would you give to someone who is seeking to work in your banking field? And then what are some career pitfalls that you would call attention to?
Yeah, so I would say, as I explained, I came to banking in a securities route, right? This isn't typical the way I got here, but what I like to stress to folks, and I talk about this all the time, a bank is a large corporation, right? Banks need everything that all the other large corporations need. People, have this idea that, oh, I want to work for a bank. I got to be a teller. I'm going to start out as a teller. Banks need everything. We need marketing. We have so many open tech jobs right now that is ridiculous. We're trying to hire a lot of tech individuals. We need admins. We need cybersecurity. Fraud in the finance industry is huge right now. We need those folks who are going to assist with that cybersecurity, assist with that fraud. We need everything, not just tellers. Now, we do need tellers. Let me be clear.
Right.
We need branch managers. We need loan agents. We need those folks as well. But Bank of M&T Bank and every other bank, we need everything that every other corporation needs. So when you're thinking about a career, we need folks to think about the banking industry because we need all those things that all the other companies need as well. And again, I guess what not to believe is that you got to start as a teller.
Okay.
I didn't start as a teller. There's a lot of people within M&T Bank. We have a person in charge of our social media, right? She didn't start as a teller. These folks have great jobs, and they didn't have to start as a teller. So I would say that's one of the myths that I wish people wouldn't necessarily follow in terms of banking.
Well, that definitely puts a different light on it, really thinking about the bank as a corporation and many sort of different inroads there. I know you've definitely shifted my thinking with that. What trends do you see in the banking industry currently?
So in banking and many other industries, the trend is DE&I, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing in all industries. We have really wrapped arms around it. I know M&T has. I'm hearing that other banks have as well. So right now we're doing an excellent job at the diversity and inclusion part, right? So only time will tell if that equity begins to be what we hope it will be. But I think we're moving in the right direction. So it's certainly a trend again after some of the things that have happened over the past couple of years. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm happy to see it, and time will tell if we're putting the right pieces in place, the right people, in places, and we reach that equity that we're striving for.
Excellent, excellent. I know that M&T is taking great strides, and you are taking great strides personally to do that and really make a difference in the DE&I space. And then, of course, Bell, and we're trying to do that as well with minority, women-owned, and then rural businesses, just to really help some of these unbanked folks and underbanked folks. So definitely.
Absolutely. The team that I'm on, M&T created a minority and women-owned business team headed by Beecher Miller, and that's the team that I'm on. So they're all in. M&T is all in.
Good. So I'm going to close with this question that I ask of everybody. What's a favorite quote or saying that you have, and why?
Yeah, my favorite, anybody knows me knows my favorite quote is start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can, right? That's a quote by Arthur Ashe.
Okay.
And it can be attributed to anybody, no matter what you're doing, right? I mean, so many folks who want to start a business or they have an idea, maybe it's in the tech space or whatever, and they say, yeah, all I got to do is get my master's. Once I get my master's, I'm gonna go ahead and, once I get this degree and that degree. I know folks that had 2, 3 masters, right?
Yeah.
And they're always in school, or they say, oh, when I get to this amount of money, or when I find that right partner, I just can't find the right partner. You can't wait forever, right? Yeah. There's never going to be a best time, right? Oftentimes there's not even a good time, but you need to get started. So I love that quote by Arthur Ashe.
Yeah, that really does cut to the base of it, right? I think that there's a sort of universal applicability to that. So absolutely. James, it's been great talking to you. That ends our interview today. I'd like to thank you for your time.
All right, sir. Man, that was easy. I thought this was going to be hard.
I know we try to keep it as painless as possible. And then I'll just close with thank you very much. I enjoyed it as well and learned a lot. On behalf of the Baltimore Economic Leadership League at joinbell.org, thank you for your time, and I hope that all of our listeners make it a great day.
All right, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.